Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something really quite profound, something I think we all sense, often without even realizing it. But it's still wrapped up in this fascinating mix of, well, ancient wisdom and modern science trying to catch up. We're talking about that invisible energy, that sort of undeniable something around, well, everything living and maybe even things that aren't, and how it shapes our interactions, our whole reality, really. So let's maybe set the scene. Picture this: Chicago, 1893. The Parliament of Religions. Big deal, right? The alarm's buzzing. Then this man walks onto the stage. Swami Vivekananda. He hasn't said a word, nothing, yet the moment he appears, the entire audience just erupt. Spontaneous standing ovation for 2 whole minutes. And it wasn't for his speech yet, or even his reputation, which was, considerable. It was just his presence. People felt this energy, this attitude of kind of confidence, and they even mentioned a glow on his face, that powerful invisible force is what we're getting into today, the aura. Your unique energy field.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about that story, that feeling they had, is how easily we talk about it now, actually. That invisible energy you mentioned, that field around Vivekananda, it's basically what we casually call a vibe today. And vibe isn't just, slang. It's literally short for vibrational frequency. So
Yeah.
it's a shortcut, pointing right to the heart of the aura, your specific energetic signature, like a fingerprint that others pick up on, often totally subconsciously, way before you even speak. It's like the silent conversation happening underneath.
It really is the ultimate first impression, isn't it, before anything else? And that brings us right to the core of this deep dive. We want to ask, what is this aura, really, beyond just a word? Can science, with all its tools and methods, actually prove it exists, map it out? And maybe the biggest question for all of us, how does this unseen energy affect your daily life, your health, your relationships, and can you actually learn to understand it better? Maybe even influence it. I mean, if Vivekananda could command a room just with his energy, wow, what does that mean for the rest of us? Okay, let's start with how we experience this every day, often without even labeling it. Think about it. You walk into a room, meet someone new, even if they're quiet, just sitting there. Sometimes you're just drawn to someone, right? You feel this, I don't know, good and positive energy. You just feel better near them. And then other times you meet someone, and even if they're perfectly polite, you feel this kind of odd restlessness, or maybe you feel a bit drained just from their negative energy that you're somehow picking up. We've all felt that, haven't we? That gut feeling. That's your subconscious at work.
Exactly. That's the perfect example of how our own systems are constantly sensing and interpreting the energy fields around us. It's why that saying holds so much water. People can lie, but their vibe cannot. Because, well, someone might put on a front, choose their words carefully, fake an emotion even. But their underlying energy, their aura, it's surprisingly transparent. Your subconscious isn't easily fooled. It picks up those subtle cues, giving you a really fast, unfiltered take on their actual internal state, their thoughts, feelings, maybe even their intentions. It's like this primal communication, totally bypassing words, just vibration to vibration. And what's really fascinating is that this sensing isn't just when someone's right there. We can often feel someone's aura, their energy, even across distances. Think about a really intense phone call. You can often tell the other person's mood, right? Their stress, their excitement, even without seeing their face. It's in the energy they transmit. Or watching someone on TV, an anchor, an actor, whoever, or even just a quick video on social media. You instantly get a vibe, don't you? That's your system tuning into their remote aura, their frequency, cutting through the distance and the tech.
Okay, this is where it gets really powerful, I think. Moving from subtle feelings to something maybe more obvious, let's talk about elite athletes. Their impact isn't just about raw skill, speed, strength, whatever. When they step onto the field or the court, they bring this tremendous aura with them. It's almost like you can feel it radiating out, that confidence, that laser focus, that determination. You feel it in the stadium, right? It changes the whole atmosphere. It affects everyone, fans, teammates, even the opposition.
Oh, absolutely. Take Virat Kohli in cricket. When he comes out to bat, it's like the whole stadium leans in, drawn to him. That self-belief, that passion, it's not just in his shots. You feel it. The crowd feels it, and you can bet the bowlers feel it too. It's more than just his batting average. It's deeply tied to his aura, that powerful, energetic presence he projects. It's almost magnetic. Or Think about Cristiano Ronaldo in football, a crucial free kick late in the game. His presence is just electric. The crowd feels it, the commentators are talking about it, and you can see the pressure on the other team. There's this intensity, this unwavering belief that just radiates from him. It goes beyond the physical play. And this isn't just us saying this. There's some emerging research looking into this. Some studies suggest that when athletes are in that peak performance state, that zone, their bodies actually emit more biophotons. These are like tiny, tiny light particles coming from our cells. So this measurable light emission, this energy, could that be, a physical aspect of the aura we experience? The very thing that lifts their game and the whole vibe of the event. It's a really compelling idea, suggesting there's something quantifiable going on. Okay, so we've gone from everyday feelings to peak athletes. But what's the science behind this? What's really happening? Well, the fundamental idea, scientifically speaking, is that we aren't just physical matter. We're not just bodies. At the very deepest level, we are fundamentally made of energy. And this energy vibrates constantly at specific rates. This isn't just like philosophy. It comes right out of quantum physics. Everything, down to the tiniest particle, is ultimately energy vibrating. So how does that connect to your aura, your personal energy field? Think about everything your body's doing right now. Breathing, digesting food, your nerves firing, blood circulating, all these complex processes involve what you could call an electrochemical series of reactions. And this constant activity generates both a magnetic field and an electrical field, naturally. These two fields interact, they weave together, creating what science calls an electromagnetic field, or EMF, around your body. That is essentially your aura from this perspective. And it typically extends out maybe 4 to 5 feet around you, like an energy bubble. And it's not static. It's constantly interacting with the environment, with other energies, trying to maintain balance within your body. It's a dynamic exchange system.
And what's really mind-bending, or at least it is for me, is that this isn't just a human thing. It's not just us walking around in our energy bubbles. The research, the observations, they suggest this applies much more broadly to plants, animals, and even inanimate objects, Sam. So that old comfy chair, the plants on your desk, your cat. They might all have their own energy field, their own vibration, which points towards this idea of a universal energy field connecting everything. It really makes you think differently about what's alive, doesn't it?
It really does. And digging a bit deeper into what this aura is, it's often said to have primary colors. But these aren't just random colors. They're thought to reflect the current state of the person, or even the object, like an energy mood ring almost. And what's key is that they change. They shift based on your emotions, your thoughts, your physical health. So, for example, positive states, feeling peaceful, happy, healthy, are often linked to a large and bright aura, lots of clear, vibrant energy. Whereas negative states, stress, fear, illness, might show up as a small and faint aura, maybe murky or constricted as a dynamic reflection. This leads us to something quite specific in the history of trying to study this. Kirlian photography. It was discovered almost by accident by a Russian scientist, Semyon Kirlian, and his wife Valentin back in 1939. Basically, the technique involves placing something like your fingers or a leaf or whatever on a special photo plate. Then a high voltage field is applied. And what happens is the energy coming off the object, often described as those biophotons we mentioned earlier, seems to create a light image on the plate. It's like capturing a snapshot of this otherwise invisible energy field.
Okay, but this is where it gets tricky with the science, right? This is where the debate really heats up. Because while Kirlian photography definitely shows something, these light images are real, not everyone agrees it's the aura in the spiritual sense. Some scientists are pretty skeptical. They might say seeing an aura is just a weakness of the brain, or that the Kirlian effect is caused by simple things like moisture, pressure, temperature differences, or normal electrical discharges from the skin. Not some special energy field, it's that classic scientific puzzle. We see an effect, but what's the real cause? But then that leaves you wondering, if it's just moisture, why the consistent patterns? Why the specific color sometimes reported around different objects or people? Are those lights really just mundane electrical effects? Or is it genuinely capturing something about invisible energy? It's still a bit of a mystery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is precisely where mainstream science kind of hits a wall, for now anyway. The images are there, they're reproducible, but a definitive, universally accepted explanation of what they represent, whether it's a true energy field or some other complex biophysical effect, hasn't really been nailed down. Science just hasn't been able to fully clarify it yet.
Uh,
So it remains this fascinating area where physics and perhaps something more subtle seem to intersect. Definitely needs more investigation.
So we've looked at everyday feelings, athletes, the scientific angle, and its current limits. But there's this whole other realm, incredibly ancient and vast, that has been thinking about and working with these energies for literally thousands of years: spirituality. And it offers these really deep, nuanced ways of understanding these unseen forces, ways that science is maybe only just starting to explore.
Oh, absolutely. The concept of the aura is just so deeply embedded in Eastern philosophy. It's not a fringe idea there, it's foundational. You find it discussed extensively in ancient Indian texts like the Vedas and the Upanishads. There, they talk about prana, which is essentially life force. Prana is seen as this universal energy that flows through and animates absolutely everything. It's the breath of life itself. And you find very similar concepts in Chinese traditions like Taoism and Qigong. They call it Qi. Again, it's this fundamental life force, this vital energy circulating through us and everything around us. And they have these incredibly sophisticated practices, breathing, movements, meditation, all designed to cultivate and balance this qi for health and spiritual connection. And within Hinduism and Buddhism especially, this understanding gets really detailed with the concept of the seven main chakras. Now, these aren't physical things you can find in surgery. They're understood as powerful vortexes, spinning centers of energy, and their job is to manage and distribute that prana or chi throughout your subtle energy body.
The idea is that energy travels through this huge network of channels called nadis, supposedly 72,000 of them, like subtle energy highways. And where these nadis intersect at major points, that's where you find a chakra. They're like the main junctions or processing hubs for different kinds of energy. And these seven main chakras are intricately connected to everything about you: your physical health, your mental state, your emotions. Each one governs different aspects. When they're all balanced and spinning properly, energy flows smoothly. Your aura is said to be clean and balanced, bright, strong, coherent. But if one or more chakras get blocked, or maybe they're overactive or underactive, perhaps due to stress, trauma, unhealthy habits, then the energy flow gets disrupted. And that's when the aura can become blurry and weak, reflecting that internal imbalance. So understanding chakras is really key to understanding your aura's health. Maybe it helps if we quickly run through each of the seven main ones, just briefly, their location and what they're generally about. The first, right at the base of your spine, is the Muladhara chakra, or root chakra. This is your foundation. It's all about security, stability, feeling grounded. Think of tree roots giving strength. That's Muladhara. Feeling safe, secure in the world. Imbalance here can lead to anxiety, feeling ungrounded. Then, moving up, just below your navel, you have the Swadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra. This is the center for emotional and creative energy. It governs feelings, pleasure, sensuality, creativity, your passions. Imbalance might show up as emotional issues, creative blocks, maybe guilt. Next, near your stomach area, is the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus chakra. This is your power center, your self-power and confidence. It's about your personal will, your drive, self-esteem, your ability to act. Balance here feels empowering. Imbalance can lead to feeling powerless or maybe being overly controlling. Then, in the center of your chest, near your heart, is the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. This one is all about love and compassion. It's seen as the bridge between the lower physical chakras and the upper spiritual ones. It governs connection, empathy, forgiveness, self-love too. And imbalance can mean isolation or difficulty with relationships. Moving up to the throat area, we find the Vishuddha chakra, the throat chakra. This is your center for expression and communication. Speaking your truth, listening effectively, expressing creativity authentically. Balance means clear communication. Imbalance might mean shyness, or maybe talking too much without listening. Between your eyebrows is the Ajna chakra, often called the third eye chakra. This symbolizes intuition and wisdom. It's about inner knowing, insight, seeing beyond the surface, imagination. Balance brings clarity and strong intuition. Imbalance might feel like confusion or being stuck in logic. And finally, right at the top or slightly above your head is the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. This represents spiritual connection and awareness. You're linked to higher consciousness, universal energy, divine wisdom, enlightenment. Balance brings a sense of unity and peace. Imbalance might feel like disconnection or cynicism. Okay, so you have these seven chakras, like energy stations along your spine. And then radiating outwards, they're also said to be seven layers of aura. And while sometimes people talk about them separately, there's actually a very deep connection. Basically, the chakras act as the points where the aura connects most strongly to the physical body. They're like the gateways. And each chakra is got to correspond to or resonate most strongly with a specific layer of the aura. It's a whole integrated system. So let's briefly touch on these layers too, starting closest to the body and moving out. First is the physical layer, sometimes called the etheric template. It's right next to the skin and relates directly to your physical health and sensations, like an energetic blueprint of the body. Second is the emotional layer. This one reflects your feelings, your moods. It's very fluid, changes constantly with happiness, stress, anger, joy, often seen as colorful, shifting clouds. Third is the mental layer. This holds your thoughts, beliefs, mental processes. Clarity here means a bright layer. Confusion or negative thinking might make it seem murky, reflect your mental health. Fourth is the astral layer. This is often seen as the bridge relating to love, compassion, and relationships with others. It's where we connect heart to heart energetically. Fifth is the etheric layer. Sometimes names vary or overlap slightly depending on the system. This one can be seen as a higher template, reflecting your sense of self in the world, your power, your truth. Sixth is the celestial layer. This connects you to spiritual awareness, higher consciousness, divine love, ecstasy. It's activated through deep spiritual practice like meditation. And seventh, the outermost layer, is the Ketheric layer, or causal body. This holds the blueprint for your soul's journey, your life purpose, your connection to the all, like the ultimate expression of your spiritual path. And again, just like the colors, these layers aren't static. They change based on your life situation, your growth, your challenges. Your aura is constantly shifting, evolving, reflecting you.
That makes total sense. It's a lot to take in, this whole energetic anatomy. So we've talked about feeling the aura, that gut instinct. And you said, yeah, we all feel anyone's aura to some degree, often subconsciously. But seeing it, that's different. You mentioned earlier the average person cannot see anyone's aura with their physical eyes, right? So if you're listening and not seeing colorful halos everywhere, you're normal.
Absolutely, yes. Feeling or sensing is quite common, almost universal, I'd say. But visually perceiving the aura, that's much less common. It usually requires either a natural innate sensitivity, which some people seem to have, or more typically dedicated practice like long-term meditation or specifically the practice of Tradak. Tradak is that gazing practice we touched on, focusing intently on one point, like a candle flame. With enough discipline, some practitioners report starting to see a faint shining light or a subtle energy field around the object. That's thought to be its aura becoming perceptible. And you can even do mirror Tradak, gazing at your own reflection. Again, with proper practice, some say they can begin to perceive their own aura. But it's definitely a skill, a different way of seeing that needs dedicated training. Not just something you switch on, but whether you see it or just feel it, the aura is considered really fundamental, a very important component of an individual's well-being. It's not just some, pretty energy field. It's believed to directly influence your health, relationships, and spiritual growth because it's seen as a direct reflection of a person's internal situation. It literally manifests your thoughts, emotions, and intentions energetically. So having a balanced and clean aura isn't just about feeling good vibes. It's deeply connected to being physically and mentally healthy. When your inner world is harmonious, balanced chakras, clear thoughts, stable emotions, your aura reflects that vitality. It's strong, resilient. But an imbalance in the aura, maybe from chronic stress, negativity, trauma, or illness, that's thought to actually contribute to negative effects on your health, both physically and mentally. It's like this feedback loop. Your inner state affects your aura, and your aura's state can then influence your inner well-being.
That idea of the feedback loop really resonates with how you feel after being around different people. It's not just the conversation, it's the energy left behind. So, thinking about that dynamic nature, does that mean our auras are constantly interacting, influencing each other?
Exactly that. Whenever you interact with someone, even just passing them on the street, but especially when you spend time together, there's this constant, subtle, minute exchange of energies between your aura and theirs. It's like this invisible, energetic conversation happening all the time. Now, if you're around someone with a really strong and healthy aura, someone vibrant, positive their energy, can help balance and renew your own aura. You might feel uplifted, energized just being near them. It's beneficial. But conversely, spending time with someone whose aura is weak or disordered, maybe they're very negative, stressed, or unwell, that interaction can actually make you feel tired or drained. Their energy can subtly deplete yours. It's a real phenomenon, this energetic give and take.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking, maybe my aura does feel a bit blurry lately, or yeah, my energy feels kind of weak, well, you're not stuck. This last part is all about practical steps. What can you actually do to bring that energy back into balance? Consider this our practical toolkit section.
Yes, absolutely. And the great news is there are definitely things you can do. It's about taking charge of your own energy. Cleaning the aura essentially means balancing the energy flowing through all seven chakras, bringing harmony back to that whole system we talked about. Because the chakras are the gateways to the aura. So here are 6 powerful methods you can try to cleanse, balance, and strengthen your aura. Number 1, and maybe the most powerful overall, is meditation. We mentioned it before, but it's key. It does more than just calm your mind. It actively cleanses your energy. How? Well, as you sit quietly, focusing inwards, maybe on your breath, you create space. In that space, negative emotions, stagnant energy, mental clutter, they can surface. And meditation gives you the awareness to gently let them go, to release them. They're gradually replaced by peace and balance. You connect with those deeper thoughts and feelings and consciously release what's disturbing, which directly cleanses the aura. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference. Second method, visualization. This uses the incredible power of your imagination to purify your aura. You actively direct energy with your mind. Here's the simple technique. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Now imagine a brilliant, pure white light surrounding you. See it completely encompassing your body, soaking into every cell, radiating outwards into your aura. As you hold this image, intend for this white light to remove all negativity, stress, fear, heaviness. Visualize it dissolving away, leaving your aura feeling brighter than before. Really feel the shift. It's surprisingly effective. Third, we have smudging. This is that ancient process using smoke. Think sacred smoke or leaves of specific trees. Common things to use are holy basil, sage, Palo Santo wood, or maybe sandalwood incense, dupe, or agarbati. The idea is that the smoke itself has purifying properties. It not only cleanses your aura, but also removes negative energy from your entire environment, like the room you're in. You gently waft the smoke around your body, maybe saying a little intention or prayer. As the smoke passes through your energy field, it helps to erase all your negativity and your aura begins to clean. It's very grounding and ritualistic. Fourth method, sound healing, using sounds like those from Tibetan bowls, bells, or mantra chants. These sounds aren't just noise. They carry specific intensity and vibrations that resonate deeply within us. They have a profound effect on the body and mind, helping to calm the nervous system and literally shake loose stagnant energy. The vibrations help balance your body's energy, infusing new life into your aura, making it feel clearer and more vibrant. You can listen to recordings, attend a sound bath, or even chant simple mantras yourself. Fifth is a really simple but impactful one. Nature immersion. Just spend time in nature. It connects us directly back to the Earth's natural energy, which is incredibly grounding and cleansing. Things like walking barefoot on grass, spending time near trees or water, or just sitting quietly in a park can help recharge your tired energy. That direct contact with air, earth, and water naturally cleanses the aura and just refreshes you on a deep energetic level. Easy to do and so beneficial. And the sixth method is affirmations, which are basically your own self-talk. What you tell yourself matters energetically. Using positive affirmations consistently can significantly help balance your aura. Try repeating simple positive statements daily like, I am safe, my energy is balanced, or I am happy and healthy. Say them like you mean them. These statements work on your subconscious mind, helping to strengthen your mind and shift your beliefs. But they also directly affect your vibration, making your aura strong and balanced. They help reprogram your energy field from the inside out.
Wow. Okay. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, it seems incredibly clear. The aura isn't just some abstract idea, it's really directly connected to our positive and negative thinking, our emotions, our health. And you mentioned thinking of it as a shield. A positive, strong aura seems to automatically protect you from negative energy, like an energetic boundary.
That's a great way to put it. It acts as a buffer. And that's why it's so important to consciously try to keep your aura clean and balanced.
Yeah.
It's not just for you, though it hugely benefits your own well-being. It ripples outwards.
Yeah.
A balanced aura not only affects you, but also impacts your entire surrounding environment and the people around you.
Yeah.
Your energy influences the collective energy.
Which leaves us with a really fascinating final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. If your aura truly reflects your inner world and influences your outer world and the people in it, how might developing a deeper awareness of your own aura and the subtle energies you encounter change things for you? Not just your personal well-being, but maybe how you approach building relationships, how you handle challenges, or even how you step into your life's purpose with more clarity and, well, positive energy. It's a powerful question to explore, isn't it? Something to really sit with.